This is Eric Erb Live. You can find me online at theericerbshow.com and, of course, Spreaker.com/Eric Erb Live, and right here on Anchor. That's Anchor.fm, Anchor.fm/Eric Erb Live. And last but not least, of course, Twitter.com/The Eric Erb Show. Like, share, subscribe, folks, if you like this podcast. Okay, let's get into some news here. Here's some very troubling news out of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. The headline from naturalnews.com, that's naturalnews.com, talks about the riots they're having. Rioters injure 30 police officers in Philadelphia as thousands of thieves loot over 30 retail stores. Well, again, it's typical Antifa, and of course right here, BLM or Black Lives Matter. The mobsters went on another violent rampage the other day, this time in Philadelphia, after police officers shot and killed a black man who reportedly charged at them with a weapon. So they're defending themselves, folks. So, what do you want the police to do? That's why the police are there, to serve and to protect. If somebody comes at you with a dangerous weapon, somebody comes at you with a knife, somebody comes at you with a gun, what the fuck do you want these people to do? What do you want the police officers to do? Yeah, that's what I thought. Most people, it's nothing but crickets out there. Nobody's going to say shit. Bottom line is, in this country, if you charge somebody with a weapon, they have a right to defend themselves. In a lot of cases, sometimes bodily force is needed, and you end up shooting and killing somebody. That's the bottom line. I don't expect police to go out there unarmed. I expect them to protect themselves and protect who they're paid to protect and serve the public at large, folks. A lot of people don't understand how law enforcement works. Not that I'm an expert, but I've had family members in law enforcement, best friends in law enforcement, and I've had friends that's been in law enforcement. I've been surrounded by them half of my entire life, so I kind of understand the deal a little bit. So let's move on here. BLM and mobsters went on another violent rampage the other day, this time in Philadelphia, after police officers shot and killed a black man who reportedly charged at them with a weapon. Some 30 police officers were sent to the hospital amid the chaos, including one who sustained a broken leg and various injuries after being run down by a large black pickup truck. Others struck with rocks, bricks, projectiles through the melee. According to the reports, the black man, a 27-year-old Walter Wallace Jr., charged at the police officers while holding a knife, prompting the two of them to shoot and kill him. The video footage captured by witnesses would appear to corroborate this version of events, depicting Wallace as chasing the police officers around the car in the street before they discharged their weapons on him. Following Wallace's collapse on the ground, responding police officer loaded his body into the vehicle and drove him to the hospital. He died later from the wounds. After Wallace's death, protesters stormed the streets and began to assault the cops who were present. They also looted vehicles, stores, and even set fire to at least one police officer's car in a show of solidarity for Wallace. Walter Wallace Sr. says police officers could have used taser rather than deadly weapon. Okay, Mayor Jim Kenney, commenting on the shooting, stated that the video footage captured raises difficult questions that must be answered. The police commissioner has since promised an investigation. Sergeant Eric Grip, a spokesman for the Philadelphia Police Department, or PPD, told reporters that officers had ordered Wallace to drop the knife as he advanced towards them. When Wallace did not obey, he was dealt with accordingly. It's all part of the active investigation, stated Police Inspector John Vanor, responding to the accusations that officers had fired more shots at Wallace than necessary. We are still reviewing the evidence. Okay, let's stop right there, folks. When, again, somebody charges you with a knife, what the fuck do you honestly expect? If he had a butter knife, it still could be considered a weapon. But if the guy has a knife, a very sharp knife, I'm sure, that's going to hurt you. That could kill you. He could cut your throat. There's no telling what's in this mind. So it comes down to intent. That's the key word. And I hear this all the time as I always listen to law enforcement, and as I listen to people on both sides of the aisle, the left and the right, and blah, 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 and all this crazy nonsense. It comes down to intent. And the bottom line is, if somebody is trying to attack you, again, and it depends on the state law in this state of Pennsylvania, Philadelphia to be exact, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, it comes down to intent. If this gentleman, obviously, it sounds like that he was rushing the police officers go right according to the book, and they'll say, drop to your knees and drop the weapon. Drop the weapon and drop to your knees. That's just typical protocol, pretty much in that order. And if you don't obey the police officers and you end up getting shot and you end up dying in the process, you get shot and killed, who the fuck's fault is that? That's not the police officers. You're rushing them. What kind of a fucking world, folks, do we live in where evil trumps good? And if you're evil, if you're running around with a potential deadly weapon, and I don't care, people will go like, Eric, you don't get it. You know, he only had a small knife. It doesn't matter. It's still a weapon. I own a shotgun, but I don't run around the fucking neighborhood trying to blow everybody's head off. You don't do stupid shit like that. Okay? If you feel if a police officer feels threatened and you don't obey, he's going to open fire. He doesn't have time to give you a warning shot. He's not going to give you a pat on your rear end and say, good boy, drop the weapon or else you're going to get spanked. That's not the way life works, the way the left wants life to work. Life works like this. You have one chance, you have one choice. There aren't an option C or a D or an E. There's one choice. You drop the weapon, you don't drop the weapon, let's say you keep it, you die. That's it. A or B. That's it. And people just don't understand how stressful law enforcement really is. And again, you know, I'm trying to be as neutral as possible here, but people just don't understand law enforcement. They just really are just a bunch of idiots, a lot of people, and they mock a police officer. They don't ever look at the good the police officer does. Yeah, he had to discharge his weapon. Yeah, okay, I got it. I'm not going to take that away, but his life, or both their officers, their lives were endangered. So they discharged the weapon. The gentleman, the assailant, died. It's just that simple. There is no time to go back in time. There is no time to make that up. So what these BLM and Antifa people want to do is they want to riot. They said, oh my God, this guy died, Wallace died, blah, 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 blah. We got to riot, and on and on and on. That's not the way you solve issues. A lot of these issues can be solved when you come together and you discuss these issues. What the left sometimes wants the right to do is basically bow down and kiss their ass and say that anything is on the table. If you're this, if you're that, if you're a thug, or you're this, you're that, we're just in a free and open society. If there was no law in a free and open society, it'd be chaos and total anarchy all over the place. Think about that, folks. I mean, just wake the fuck up for 5 minutes. You can't be that stupid where you're going to let a bunch of crazy asshole people burn down everything like BLM. You're not going to let them people fucking burn down. Are you out of your fucking mind? You're not going to let them people. People have worked hard for their homes and their businesses. And to have a hate group come in, say, you know, and start the George Floyd stuff again and say, oh, it's in the name of George Floyd, or it's this or it's that, on and on and on, and start that line, and justification to destroy property and commit arson and sometimes even commit murder under that umbrella, saying, well, it's for George Floyd, or it's this or it's that, or it's racism and all that. It's still bullshit 100%, okay? Call a spade a spade. it's criminal. When you charge a cop with a weapon, you're going to get shot, and you're most likely going to die. When you burn down houses, and you burn down buildings, and you burn down, in this case, burning down businesses, you're probably most likely going to end up getting shot. If you get hit with a rubber bullet, consider yourself lucky. Stop what the fuck you're doing, turn around, and go home. Stop it right now, drop your bullshit, and go home. They don't seem to do that, and again, understanding a little more deeper into the issue, these people are bought and paid for. It's all an agenda, and it's an agenda to try to turn the United States into a war zone and chaos and bring in this anarchy known and for the socialism agenda. That's what the Democrats are, the far left wing, the Ocasio-Cortez and Ilhan Omar and all that. They want that agenda. They want this bullshit whereby they have a socialistic society. They don't understand the with critical thinking. They've not thought that out very well. They've not thought that out, and then they'll sit there and they'll say, well, look at this country, look at Sweden, or look at that country, they're socialists, and look how good they're doing. They don't understand, in any circumstance, you can have, let's say, two people, and two people are both blessed. They have rich parents, they're blessed, they both have a college degree. One goes off and decides to be in the military and an officer and very successful in life, and the other decides to be a hardened drug dealer. Well, it's like in society nowadays, the person that becomes an officer, say in the Army, then comes out and then decides to go in law enforcement, very successful, will shame the successful person to make up for the lack of success for that person that is not successful, that drug dealer. They both had equal opportunity, let's say, at birth. That's what societies has become now. And they play this game, the elites, of course, the George Soros, the Bill Gates, even the idiot that runs Facebook there, Mark Zuckerberg, and Jack Dorsey, when he's not on drugs and half out of his fucking mind, looks like a dope dealer himself. These idiots like to divide and conquer. These idiots are far left-wing wackos. So it's okay to shoot the police. It's okay in their book, not in my book, but in their book, to throw rocks and stones and bricks at the police. But boy, when the police fire back, and baby, they're going to fire back hard, just like the fucking military. They're going to put you down. They're going to put you down quick. They don't have time to fuck around. This is their life. If they don't go home to their wife and kids, then guess what? That family's going to suffer. So just like anybody else, they want to protect themselves, and they're going to protect the public at large. So when these big assholes, BLM, start their bullshit, the police are going to take them down quickly, which that's what they need. They need to be taken down quickly and taken out, and so society can go back to, we can once again try to regain some type of decency and civility in society. But let's go back and finish the article here. I'm almost done. Are the police becoming too militarized? That's the question. I don't think so. Philadelphia City Council Mayor Jamie Guthrie, I believe that's how I pronounce his name, issued his own statement calling on the PPD, or Philadelphia Police Department, to immediately release the body cam of the incident so the public can see what actually happened. The public deserves full, unvarnished accounting of what took place today. Gaither is quoted as saying, criticizing the police officers for involved for firing their weapons at all. Had the officers employed de-escalation techniques and non-lethal weapons rather than making a split decision to fire their guns, this young man might still be alive. That's what he's saying. And yet another statement, Philadelphia District Attorney Larry Krasner said that he and his team plan to go where the facts lead law, and us to do carefully without rushing into judgment and without bias of any kind. Well, that's the first. That's a start. In the hours and days following the shooting, Philadelphians come together to uphold people's freedom, express themselves peacefully, and reject violence in any way, any kind. More news and clash protesters in America can be seen at civilwar.news. Okay, so let me know what you think of that that article in the news today. It's very upsetting. It's upsetting that one gentleman had to die. It's upsetting that 30 police officers got injured. But this is where we come to. Either way, with the election, one side or another, I do think Trump's probably going to win, folks. That's my opinion. I think that he probably will. What I'm seeing physically on the ground is just more than the imaginary numbers that CBS, NBC, CNN, MSNBC, even Fox News, what these numbers are projecting. They're always projecting Biden ahead by 5, Biden ahead by 9, Biden ahead by 10 or 11. It's just absolute bullshit. I do think President Trump's going to win a second term. And in that second term, what's going to happen is that there is going to be chaos, almost positive, 100%. There's going to be all kinds of looting, rioting. They'll be burning down all types of buildings. This is going to happen, folks. There's going to be clashes. So if you see any time leading up to and after the election, November 3rd, of course, get out and vote. Please get out and vote. I don't care who you vote for, just get out and vote. There will be all kinds of chaos. I'm absolutely positive. If Joe Biden won, maybe not so much, but if Trump wins, which I'm sure President Trump will win, there's going to be all kinds of chaos. So just expect it. Get out and vote. That's your civil duty. That's your right to get out and vote. And hope and pray for everybody in the United States, and pray for the men and women in blue and emergency healthcare workers and the frontline workers that are on the battlefield right now, because they need our prayers, folks. They really do. They have an absolute shit job right now, and they're trying to make the best of it in these worst of times. This is Eric Erb from Eric Erb Live. You can find me online at theericerbshow.com, twitter.com/The Eric Erb Show, right here on Spreaker, Spreaker.com/Eric Erb Live, and right here, my home on Anchor. That's anchor.fm, anchor.fm/Eric Erb Live. Like, share, subscribe if you like this podcast, and stay safe, folks. God bless.